Let's just be real for a second. For so many of us, the way we work, it's just plain broken. Those rigid, top-down structures that we've been relying on for decades, they're totally failing us in this new age of AI. So, it's time for a pretty fundamental shift in how we think about all this. It's time to go from solid to liquid.
Okay, take a good look at this. Does this spaghetti monster look a little too familiar? The endless backlogs, right? The approvals that take forever. These tangled up processes that just create way more friction than actual flow. I mean, for a lot of companies, this isn't just some abstract diagram. No, this is their daily reality. It's a system literally collapsing under its own weight.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem, right? It's this core tension. On one side, you've got the solid organization. Think of it as a pyramid built for an industrial era where stability and top-down control were everything. But on the other side, you have the liquid organization. This is something completely different. It's designed for right now, for a world that's always changing. It's all about movement, flow, and, these interconnected networks.
Okay, so if liquid is the future, why are so many of us still stuck in solid? What's going on? Well, this brings us to this huge paradox, a massive challenge that's holding back pretty much every company out there. We call it the AI Catch-22.
Look around. Everyone is in this massive race to adopt AI, right? They're all chasing this huge leap in productivity. And the promise of AI? It's incredible. It's supposed to be totally transformative. But the big, company-wide benefits? They're just not showing up. The hard reality is we've hit a wall.
So here it is. This is the Catch-22. To get all that amazing power out of AI, your organization needs to be fluid. It needs to be open. But, and this is the big but, the very structure of your typical solid company, the hierarchy, the silos, that was all designed for the exact opposite. It was built to control and protect information. So the old system is literally blocking the new one from even getting started.
And isn't that just the biggest irony? The very thing that made companies so successful in the past, that traditional hierarchy, is now the #1 thing slowing them down. The tool that built all that growth has become this giant anchor, just holding us back.
But look, this is bigger than just a new piece of tech. It's not just about AI as a tool. To really get the full picture here, you have to zoom out and realize we are standing on the edge of a completely new era of work.
Think about how we've worked throughout history. We started way back in the instinct era, right? We were in small groups, driven by our shared judgment. Then came the machine era. That's when we organized humans for massive scale, and obedience to the system was prized above everything else. But now we're entering what's being called the intelligence era. And what's so cool about it is that it's this powerful return to human agency.
So, what does this new era actually look like? Well, for starters, machines don't just replace us anymore. They amplify us. They boost our capabilities. And that allows us, the humans, to get back our agency, to use our judgment again. And here's the real game changer. All that tedious day-to-day work of management and coordination, that gets automated. And what does that do? It frees up leaders to focus on something way more important: orchestration.
Okay, so let's recap. The old system is broken. We're in a brand new era. The solution to that big AI Catch-22, it isn't about making small tweaks to the old model. Nope, it's about throwing it out and adopting a completely new one. We have to go liquid.
So, what do we actually mean by liquid? Now, this isn't about chaos. Not at all. It's a very specific capability. It's the power to move freely, to flow with opportunity wherever it pops up. It's really the native state, the default setting for an organization that's truly built for this new intelligence era.
And in this new system of work, the roles totally shift. AI takes over the massive headache of coordination. All the scheduling, the tracking, the aligning. This frees up people to focus on what we humans do best: creative collaboration, real problem solving, and at the same time, it lets leaders finally step back from all that micromanagement and provide that high-level orchestration, just guiding the flow.
And what you get is an organization that feels like this. It's this powerful, dynamic vortex. It's not a rigid box or a pyramid anymore. It's a system that's always in motion, always adapting. It's fluid by its very nature, ready to react in an instant to whatever the world throws at it.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how on earth do you get there from where you are now? How do you actually make that leap? Well, it's time to unmess the system.
Now, the path forward isn't going to be the same for everyone. If you're in a big, established company, you've got to first untangle that spaghetti monster we talked about. You have to literally lift the work out of the old bureaucracy. But if you're in a smaller business, you have a massive advantage. You can lean right into a culture of what we call permissionless autonomy, where your team is empowered to just act without getting stuck in layers of approvals.
So for those big companies, the key is a process called descale. It's a 4-step thing. First, you decompose the work into smaller, bite-sized pieces. Then you defragment all those tangled processes. Next, you reconfigure your teams to be more fluid and adaptable. And finally, you recombine all that new energy around a single, clear strategy.
And I really want to stress this. The goal here is radical. This isn't about just patching up the old solid organization or trying to make the hierarchy a tiny bit more efficient. No. The real move is to change the medium altogether. It's about dissolving the old problems simply by becoming liquid.
Now, a shift this big doesn't just change your org chart or your processes. It goes deeper. It completely redefines what it even means to be a leader. It demands a totally new paradigm for leadership itself.
Think about the word stability. What does it mean? In the old world, it meant a fixed position, a rigid 5-year plan. But that's not what it means anymore. Today, true stability, real resilience, comes from your organization's ability to constantly rebalance, to adapt on the fly as conditions change.
Here's the best way to think about it. Imagine you're riding a bike. How do you stay upright? Is it by standing perfectly still? No way. That's how you fall over. Your stability comes from forward movement, from all those constant, tiny adjustments you're making to stay in balance. That is the essence of leadership in a liquid organization.
So that's the big leadership shift, right there. It's no longer about your title or how much you control. It's about creating movement and maintaining balance. And strategy? It's not some dusty document you write once a year. It becomes a living, breathing language that allows everyone in the organization to move together in the same direction.
And all this leaves us with one final, and I think really critical question for you to think about. Look at your own organization. Can you honestly be the company you want to be? And if the answer is no, what are the solid structures that are getting in your way?